everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an exciting holiday inspired makeup tutorial for you guys. It's kind of a cranberry gold color featuring the Eyeshadow Burgundy palette that I mentioned in my last haul. So I'll link that down below, but I wanted to go ahead and do a tutorial for you guys just showing you kind of an eyeshadow look that's really kind of more dramatic. And of course this makeup look is kind of you can use for a Christmas dinner, a Christmas party, something, you know, a little bit more where you want to dress up and go a little bit extra, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm using the Burgundy palette, and then also my mom got me a little tiny Christmas tree that's sitting back there. So I haven't decorated it yet, but I wanted to like just kind of impromptu put it in there just so you guys could see and kind of have this little festive theme for the video. So if you want to see how I did this makeup look, just keep on watching. Alright, so first we're going to start by putting our hair behind our ears so we can get to business. And next I'm going to take my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and I'm going to prime my eyes with this. And I'm going to put it on my eyelid and in my inner corner and then blend that out with my Artis Elite Oval 4 brush. Next, I'm going to take my Kat Von D Lock-It powder with my Sigma blending brush and I'm going to set that concealer in place so we can prime our eyes for the eyeshadow. So next I am going to take my Eyeshadow Burgundy palette and on my Morphe blending brush I'm going to take the color Penny and put this in my crease as a transition shade. And what we want to do is blend this out and make this as seamless as possible so that we can build up the other shadows and intensity over top of it. So you'll notice I'm just using back and forth windshield wiper motions to blend out this shadow. So next, on a little bit more of a dense MAC crease brush, it's the brush 217, I'm going to take the color Burgundy in the center of the palette and I'm going to apply that shadow right underneath the transition shade we just applied. And so this is going to help build up the look and make it a little bit darker, and we're just going to make sure that we blend that really well with the first color. And then on that same MAC brush, now we're going to take the color Brick, and it's a little bit darker than Burgundy, and we're going to put this more specifically on the outer edge of the lid and kind of work that into the crease. So as you'll notice, we're getting a little bit darker colors each time, so we gradually build and blend that look. So we want to be a little bit more careful with this color. We don't want to bring it too high above that transition shade. So as you'll notice, I'm kind of going just back and forth right on that outer part of the eye. So next we're going to take the shade LA, which is kind of an amber toned gold, and I'm going to take that with my ring finger and apply that to my lid. And I'm using my ring finger because I find that you can build up the color and make it a little bit more intense with that shade. And we want to be careful not to take this too far into the inner corner, which you'll see that I kind of did and had to wipe off a little bit. Next, I'm going to take my flat Morphe eyeshadow brush and just blend out the edges of that shadow so it looks a little bit more seamless. Next, I'm going to take that same crease brush, the MAC 217, and I'm going to take the color Dubai, which is the darkest color we're going to be using, and I'm going to blend that in to the outer corner over top of the last shade we applied. And so we really want to kind of darken the look and use that to blend together the transition shade and the gold shade that we applied. And of course, we can't forget to take that clean blending brush and blend out all the harsh edges of the eyeshadow. Next, I'm taking my flat Sigma eyeshadow brush and my Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette, and I'm going to highlight my brow. So now I'm going to take my makeup wipes and I'm going to clean up the edges of the eyeshadow, and then I'm going to start my foundation. And I did my eyeshadow first because I wanted to make sure that my face was really clean and the eyeshadow didn't get super messy on top of my foundation. So now I'm priming with my Cover FX primer, and then I'm going to apply my Marc Jacobs Remarkable foundation. So you'll see that I'm going to start dotting the foundation around my face, and this is the first time I used it, so I kind of was experimenting with how to apply it. But I'm taking my Sephora 53 Pro airbrush and I'm going to go ahead and blend that in. And this foundation is really high coverage, so it's going to give us really flawless skin as a base for the rest of the makeup. Now I'm taking my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer again, and I'm going to draw the concealer in a triangle underneath my eye to kind of create the illusion of a little bit more lifted and awake eyes. And we're also going to take that right next to the edge of the shadow, again with the Elite Oval 4 brush, to kind of lift the eyes and clean up the shadow look. So we want to start with the edges first and then start blending in under the eye so that the most product stays where the dark spots are. And then I'm going to take that concealer and highlight with it. So I'm going to go down the center of my nose, the center of my forehead, my lip, and then my chin. Now I'm going to take that Kat Von D powder again with my Beauty Blender, and I'm going to put that underneath my eyes, around my nose, and on my chin where I get extra oily. And the reason why I do this, I'm going to leave it for a little bit of time to mix in with my concealer, and this just makes the look even more flawless and my concealer does not budge. And now I'm also going to take my powder brush and just brush off the excess powder, and then take my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium to give a little bit more full coverage on top of my foundation. Next, I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow palette, and I'm going to sculpt out my cheeks. So I'm going to take that with my MAC 183 brush, I think it is, and I'm going to sculpt out my cheeks, making a little fishy face. And as you can see, I'm going right underneath my cheekbone to create that illusion of a shadow, and it's going to sculpt out our face and make it a little bit thinner. So as you notice, I am taking this shade up onto my forehead and underneath my chin again to create those shadows, and it's going to slim out and kind of sharpen our face. And I'm also taking a short sweet tea break. I'm also going to take this round tip Artiste brush with my bronzer and contour out my nose, again to kind of slim out the nose and make the look a little bit more intense. Next, I'm taking my Charlotte Tilbury highlighter brush and the glow part of the palette, and I'm going to apply that to my cheekbones, my nose, and my cupid's bow to kind of highlight the face and give that little healthy glow. Next, I'm going to take my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade and my Anastasia Brow Brush, and I'm going to brush out my eyebrows first, and then I'm going to fill them in. I'm starting with the end of my brow first and then working my way towards the front. So you'll notice I draw the bottom part line first, and then I sort of blend that out, and then I get a little bit more product for the front of my eyebrow. And I leave the most intense part at the end and kind of build that up because I find that my eyebrows are naturally that way. Next, I'm taking my raggedy old Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Liner in black, and I'm going to thinly line my eyes. And what I like to do is kind of rest my hand on my face so that it's a little bit more steady and I can get the line straight and close to the lash line. Next, I'm taking that little pencil brush from my Morphe brush set and the colors Burgundy and Almond, and I'm going to apply those underneath my lash line. Next, I'm taking my Tweezerman eyelash curler for almond or deep set eyes, and I'm going to curl my lashes. And then I'm going to apply my Better Than Sex mascara. Sorry some of these clips are out of focus, but I'm taking my Sephora lashes in Fringe number 04 and my Duo eyelash glue in black. I'm going to apply the glue and wait for it to get tacky for about 30 seconds and take my Sephora Bullseye applicator, which is Life, guys, and I'm going to push the lash into the center of my eye first, and then I'm going to use my fingers to pull the outer and inner lashes down to my lash line. And that is a finished eye look. Next, I'm taking my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Mood Exposure, and I'm going to apply this with a MAC stippling brush. Now for lips, I'm going to use my Marc Jacobs lipstick in the shade Slow Burn. Lastly, I'm going to set my face with the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix setting spray, and that's it for the look. So now you guys are ready for your holiday dinner or holiday events. I hope you like this tutorial. Make sure you like and tell me what you think down below. Tweet me a picture if you try it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!